about, well, look at the buildings, they're falling at almost free fall speed. No, stop. That's just wrong. Well, World Trade
Well,
Center
that's not
7, how
wrong
about
if
how
you
it fell down?
measure it.
What?
That's not wrong. I mean, it doesn't
It is wrong.
prove that there is
It is
dynamite
wrong.
in them.
No, it is wrong. The laws of physics dictate how those buildings will fall, and guess what? All the video evidence demonstrates that they fell according to the laws of physics. They didn't break any rules.
Well, no one suggested they broke laws of physics when they fell. I mean,
Yes, they did. Well, they're saying there's two different models for how those buildings could collapse. One is a gravity-assisted collapse as a result of a natural burning fire and the damage done by it, and the other one is the controlled demolition model. And the conspiracy
where they
theorists,
blew up several floors simultaneously,
Right.
right? Which, of course, nobody noticed that amount of charges being placed around the buildings, even though it's like the biggest honkin' office building that has thousands of people coming into work there every day. And not one person said, hey, you know, there weren't any bomb-sniffing dogs.
That's not true either, actually. It's documented they pulled bomb-sniffing dogs off the detail a week prior to, and there are several people who said
So
that
it
they
only
had shut
took them a
down.
week.
Pardon?
It only took them a week total.
No, I didn't say that. I said there are people who said that they pulled, I guess they shut down certain floors, you know, at certain times. In addition to which, there are hundreds of people claiming they heard bombs going off on the day of 9/11. The lobby was blown out, and everybody says that, you know, well, the plane
I heard a
hit the top,
gunshot the other
fireball
day.
went
It
down,
turned out it
blew
was.
up the lobby.
I heard a gunshot the other day. Turned out it was a car backfire. Of course, you're going to hear explosions when shit's on fire and falling apart and crashing.
Well, yeah, that's the answer. That's the standard answer. But I mean, you know, if you see the people being interviewed, they're like, we've heard explosions going off all over the place. If something blows up, that's not the same as a fire, you know. But anyway,
yeah, and
what's
you know what? The
evidence against Bin
testimony of
Laden?
somebody,
Where's
the
case?
testimony of somebody who's got a building coming down around him is a lot less reliable than an
No,
outside
way before the buildings began to collapse. No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about, you know, like I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so before the buildings collapsed. Yes, they heard stuff when the buildings were coming down as well.
30 minutes before those buildings collapsed, those people were nice and calm and good observers? Are you kidding me?
After the building had been on
experience
fire
an
for a
explosion
long
and you're
time?
there,
You're in a burning building.
You're upset. You're not going to think, well, maybe that was just my imagination. You know.
No, it's not a matter of imagination. It's a matter of interpreting events in the chaos while the building's burning around you.
Right. There's too much chaos for people to know whether or not they.
Great. So we
okay.
agree that the testimony of people who said they heard bombs could easily just have been natural explosions and noises that occur in an environment where they've never been before, where the world is collapsing around them.
Firefighters inside. I mean, I don't know. I imagine the firefighters know something about. I mean, they battle high-rise fires, you know, in New York or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, their testimony is not. You know.
It's not what it does. It's not supporting the conspiracy theory. That's
no,
for sure.
It's not. It's well, basically, if you keep saying that all the scientists say, you know, all agree and all this.
No, I didn't say all the scientists, because you can
review.
always find a scientist who'll stand up for something or have some crackpot belief. I said peer-reviewed scientific papers, and that's what counts. That's what matters.
What is the compelling case against Osama bin Laden? The FBI says they don't really have. They promised that they would prove it was him.
What the hell does Osama have to do with this?
With 9/11? According to he's the guy who masterminded it.
I understand that.
Right?
You're moving from one conspiracy to another, and I think.
No, I'm not moving from one conspiracy to another. It's all related. I'm simply saying that.
I understand that. My point is, how long should this conversation go on?
Oh, listen, I know you guys got to move on. If y'all, I guess I should let y'all. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna.
Yeah, obviously, we're not going to
anyway,
complete
guys,
a sentence.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Jules. I guess we got real quick. Is it Sean? Hello?
Hello?
Sean?
Oh, yeah, hi.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm afraid I'm an atheist and I'm rational too.
But
congratulations.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. The fellow on my left, on your right, a little while ago made a statement in response to the previous caller when he said that how would they know that the towers were going to fall? And he said kind of sarcastically, well, maybe it's because they were on fire and there was white powder coming out of the bottom. Well, a very simple fact is that has never happened in the past. Many buildings of the same type of construction
Have been hit by planes and burned for 2 hours without being put out?
have burned and have not fallen. For some reason, 2 of them did this particular day.
Hey, you know what? I've got video footage of a guy who jumped out of a plane without a parachute and he lived.
That has nothing to do with what I just said.
Actually, it does.
No, it really doesn't.
Actually, it really, really does.
No, it really, really doesn't. I'm
Because-
talking about the buildings and the fact that it's never happened before, and many buildings have burned. This one, for some reason, did. But my point is that the gentleman acted as though because it was on fire and the powder was coming out, you would know intuitively that it was in danger of falling. It had never happened before. So why would that be the case? That's not logical.
I don't know, but I sat at home and watched all this and said at least 45 minutes before anything happened, those buildings are coming down.
Well, I'm sure the other people did too, and there are probably lots of other people who were, as I was,
So
just
we're in
surprised that
agreement.
they had come down.
So we're
The
in
other thing
agreement
is
that it was
in the,
reasonable.
there are websites.
Stop. So we're in agreement that it was reasonable for some people to presume that the buildings might fall down, correct?
Yeah, and it was just as reasonable
were
for
done.
other people to assume that they would not.
So I'm sure some
in
people
fact,
did assume they would not. That
Possibly
doesn't-
more reasonable since it had never happened before.
And so what?
That's all. Why does there have to be more? We're talking about that one particular point. The second particular point is that
Wait.
there is a lot of
Actually make a
evidence.
point on the first one?
I don't know that we made a point on the first one.
The point was there was no reason to say, well, obviously it was going to fall because it was on fire. and there was white
No.
powder
We just
coming.
agreed that it was reasonable to presume that it might fall. You just agreed to that.
No.
Yes,
it's
you
not
did.
reasonable.
Rewind.
Well,
If you got a
it's-
TiVo,
it's
rewind. I
always
specifically
possible that
asked,
it would, but
and you
considering the
agreed.
history, it's
that
not reasonable.
And you agreed that it was reasonable that it might happen, not that it would. We both agreed that it was reasonable that it might fall, and that it was also reasonable to assume that it might not because this hadn't happened. But this exact scenario had never been played before.
And we agreed that there were probably some people who thought that it would fall down, while there were others who did
probably thought
not.
it wouldn't.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. So let's go to another point, and it's not last because we can't prolong this. There are several videos out that have a lot of evidence in it, not all of which I agree with. The opinions, certainly not all of which I agree with. But there's plenty of factual, scientific evidence that supports a conspiracy theory in the sense that what we are being told happened is not correct. Beyond that, you can go many. Beyond that, you can go many different directions.
Such as? What scientific evidence is there that refutes the standing explanation that is supported, in fact, by peer-reviewed science?
The biggest one, probably, other than the fall of WTC7,
Nonsense.
is that in the sub-basements of all 3 buildings, almost a month later, were molten
This
metal.
is already
molten metal.
explained.
I'm not sure who explained that, but if you look at I haven't watched the whole show. I'm not sure what's going on. Nor have I seen your past shows or any other previous discussion
No, it's not
on.
explained by us. I'm not an expert in any of this. I'm not the one who's done the peer-reviewed scientific papers that explain the things that you're claiming you have science to refute.
Okay, you keep referring to peer-reviewed papers.
Yes.
I'm certainly not claiming I have seen those, but what I have seen.
And what I haven't seen is peer-reviewed papers that support your claim.